T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Well, that's about 2/3 true. Todd is somewhere between here and there, so we have a guest host.
Hither and yon.
Yes, welcome, Howard William, and his name is like three, what do you call that, an array of periods out. There's a name for that, ellipse or some such thing, but Howard William McLean Jr. is what all that says. Welcome.
There we go. Hi, everybody.
Thank you, Howard, for stepping in while Todd
Yes.
is basking in the sunny skies of Florida.
Well, I heard he was on a photo shoot to be an underwear model, but I don't know how true that is.
Well,
Yeah, those gigs come and go, especially with us.
I don't know if he has the items necessary there to.
We'll talk about our co-host. We're talking about
Yeah,
a photographer.
Yeah, right. I shouldn't do that. the photographer. That's right. That's right.
He's lacking the photographer.
Welcome to episode 61 of the Play It By Ear podcast, and I'm gonna drag us here. There we go.
Right.
I'm gonna put Brady first. There's kind of an unwritten rule with guest hosts. We've only had one other guest host, but we've decided kind of amongst ourselves we don't put the guest host in the hot seat immediately. We let one of the regular hosts do the first topic, and then they kind of find their way. But so I'll be last, but I'll be doing a game. But we'll talk about that in a moment. I'm Eric Fiskus, and I am not the most recent Vaximillion winner.
Am I? I didn't check it.
You are not. Apparently, you get a phone call if you are, but sorry to say you are not either. And you did not get the college scholarship either. Yeah, so
That stings.
congratulations to, I forget, I saw the guy's name. He's from Northern Ohio, Richwood, I think. So welcome, or congratulations to him. All right, so again,
And if
episode
you happen
60.
to be a listener, please donate freely.
Yeah, right. You can become a member. We'll talk about that in a moment. And if you have $1 million, you probably could do that rather easily. Could bankroll the whole operation here. We could be working for a Vaximillionaire. All right. Again, episode 61 of the Play It By Ear podcast. And if you've not been here before, we all come to the table with the topic. We talk 20-ish minutes, and usually more on the side of the ish than the 20. And we play it by ear. And Howard got to see the inside guts of this whole operation as well.
The sausage making.
Exactly. Sausage making indeed. And we've all got our topics. We're all ready to go. We have 16 people in the room. Sign in if you are with us here. Savannah, our newest member of the Earbud Hall of Fame. Welcome.
And thank you, Savannah, for mentioning us on the Channel 12 website. Big heart feels to that.
Yes.
That made my day.
Indeed. We did not get a call from Mr. Herzog, but we appreciate
Or Howard
your...
Ain.
Howard Ain, yeah, right. What was that, troubleshooter? There's definitely some trouble to shoot here. All right. Johnny, hello. Gary Troutman, Howard's a regular. Put him in the hot seat. Well, I'll show him some grace.
We'll see.
Jackie, welcome. Guest host looks probably slightly familiar to you indeed.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
All right, Jess Longacre back with us. Been a while since we've seen you, Jess. Also a Earbud Hall of Famer member. Danny. So now 3 of the 4 McLean children are in the room. Gotta get Kathy in here. So welcome one, welcome all. Allison with us, all the way from Alabama. I guess you're still in Alabama unless you're traveling, but welcome to Allison as
speaking
well.
of traveling, I about sent you a message when I was at the Welcome to Alabama rest stop on my trip last week. And I took a picture of me by the Welcome to Alabama sign, and something happened. I went to send the message, and the photo it wasn't what I thought I took. It disappeared. So I was in your neck of the woods. So if you smelled something funny, it was probably me driving through.
And she says she is in Alabama currently. Now, Allison, would you have invited Brady over for some grits? Some
Or at least
Alabama
a grit?
grits. According to Vinny, they make good grits there. I don't know. But
Just how long do you cook a grit?
the entire grit-eating world cooks their grits for 15 minutes. No, 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Allison says absolutely she would invite you over for grits. So, all right. All right, gentlemen, with that, again, we will get on with the festivities here, but we do invite you, before we start, to visit our website, www.playitbyearpodcast.com, and register for updates on our show. You can do that right on the top of any of the pages of the website. If you go to the right side, there is a way to register for the email updates, and Howard has the official Play It By Ear podcast wear, actually playing it old school there, because we got to get some shirts with our current John Whitney inspired logo on them. So
I can show you a picture of it. Here, let me disappear from the camera for 5 seconds. It's right in front of me.
our audience probably welcomes you disappearing from the camera.
They probably do.
Wah, wah, wah.
And
He's here all week.
here is my prototype.
Oh, the actual shirt. There you go. Brady did make a prototype, or have one made. And that is a little bit of a preview on what you will see from us here in short order. We keep talking about it, just like we did before. We kept talking about it, and finally did it. Hopefully, I believe that's a summer project. I believe that's what we've talked about. So.
Yes.
All right, so again, visit our website, register for updates, and we will talk more about different parts of our website later on. And we are on screen in the order which we will present our topics. Brady is in the hot seat first. Mr. Liming, you may begin.
And speaking of hot seat and hot places, it goes right along with my topic. And so my topic that I'm going to be leading off with tonight is going to be, what song do you think would be playing on a loop in Hades, in the gates of hell, on a loop, a song that is so offensive sonically to you that it is what you imagine would be played on a loop in the underworld that people are subjected to for eternity. Now, let me just lay a little bit. I'm not totally going from a list, because I think we could all generate many of our own, and I'm sure that our audience is going to provide many examples too. But I will tell you, the criteria is pretty loose. It could be a song that is a pop song that you've heard on the radio, or a country song that just absolutely grinds your gears, or it could be like a children's song or something from a cartoon or movie that you've been subjected to too many times. This is a wide berth, a wide range, and I could kind of lead it off because I made reference to this. This is one of my most hated songs of all time, and once again, guys, I'm not wanting to offend anybody's musical choices, and that's not. This just happens. Oh, Howard has disappeared. This just happens to be a song that could very well be in hell, and that is especially the chorus of the Florida Georgia Line song, "This Is How We Roll." If I have to hear that, how we roll, I'm sure that Satan himself is cranking up the volume. I can envision that.
So now wait a minute. Is this? I'm not sure I'm familiar.
You're not familiar with the song?
Is that the one that goes, "This is how we roll"? Oh,
that's the refrain over and over again. And I got to be honest. I mean, there's probably more. What do I call it? Annoying songs to the masses, but that one, I will be consistent. From the moment I heard it, I thought this is a crime against humanity, and it just personally, that song drives me nuts. So there could be an example, and I'm going to flip the script. This is the number, and I'm not giving anything away, but I'll give you an example so our listeners and our other hosts get an idea. The song that frequently comes up is after a visit to Magic Kingdom, you are subjected to "It's a small world after all." It's a small, yeah, and that usually comes up. It's usually on the top 10 of every, Hades list that I've ever seen. So you can see what we're dealing with. So with that note, no pun intended, Howard, what say ye?
Right along with the topic, "Come On Baby, Light My Fire" by the Doors.
Oh.
I can't stand that song.
Let's say you're going to generate some angst with that.
I know, but it's just, when I was in college, the guys next door blared that for like 4.5 hours straight while they were partaking of some oregano-like substances. And so it just drilled a hole right through the back of my brain. I can't stand it. Oh, my God.
The Doors usually elicit a love-hate response. You don't find anybody that's just kind of like, oh, yeah, they're okay. They usually generate that, hey, we love them, or, oh, my gosh, what an overrated bunch of 60s hodgepodge. But yeah, and I especially think that the keyboard part, which I think is pretty cool, but it would be annoying that that could, I imagine, would like hone in on some people. I could definitely see that. So
yeah, for like 4 hours straight, and then you get the wafting of the fumes.
Those left-handed cigarettes.
Yeah. They weren't smart enough to put a towel under the door or anything like that. It just, so you've got the Doors and the Doobage all up and down the hallway. So that just really ruined that song completely for me.
To visit one of our future isms, the Devil's Cabbage, the Devil's Lettuce, or Fatal's Kale.
Yeah. For the Doors Doobage.
Yes.
So the fumes did not take the edge off the song.
Absolutely not.
He's just angry and hungry.
Exactly. Yeah. After they would play it for 4 hours, we were ordering Domino's. I mean, by the carload. But never wanted anything like that again. It just, and you always could tell. You could always tell because you'd get the smell and you go like, here comes the Doors. Yeah.
So we do have to footnote this topic. We did. I don't want to say we stole it. We saw this on a tweet from Super 70 Sports, which is one of our favorite Twitter handles, and his tweets tend to get a lot of responses, but this one got 4,471 responses. So this was this was something that hit a nerve, and I bring up the tweet because, for whatever reason, at the top of the responses on my end, this person said, "I'm sorry, but it's got to be almost anything by Bob Jovi."
Bob Jovi.
And this guy responded, good old Robert Jovi. Robert Jovi.
Oh man, I don't even know what to say to that. But yeah, because Eric. Sorry. Go ahead, Howard.
No, that's.
He's just shaking his head. One of the responses to that tweet was anything by Boston, and I forget who the other one was. And I was kind of like, really? I've never heard, Boston's awesome, but this guy had a real bone to pick with Boston. It's like, come on.
Well, but again, Boston is either you love all their songs or you hate all their songs because they all sound the same.
That's true.
It's all good to me.
That's why they're a great tribute band. Every great tribute band, all their songs sound the same. You learn three
Indeed.
chords, you just mix them up.
That's true. That's true. Another one that makes the list. Oh, Eric, I want to hear your offering. We have not heard from you.
I would say "Don't Worry, Be Happy" would be. I don't know if it'd be the time. That's the first one that came to mind for whatever reason.
That's some irony there.
Yeah, and I guess the over and over again we heard in 1988 still hangs with me. But going through the responses of that tweet probably brought up a better one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if y'all have heard this. I don't know if this is something that's just on Sirius satellite radio or it's out there on terrestrial radio. But there's a 1877 Cars for Kids commercial. Have you ever heard it?
No.
I don't think I have.
So it must be just a Sirius XM. So the jingle goes, it's these kids singing, and it 1877 Cars for Kids.
Yes.
KARS Cars for Kids.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
That just triggered a flashback. Yeah. I tried to
awful.
forget it.
Awful.
That would definitely be. Well, hey, we got to go back to episode number 1 or 2, the Donato's Peep commercial. And I would hear that in my sleep if I had to, and keep in mind, guys, we're just not talking about songs we dislike. These are just like stir that visceral, eternal torture. And one that frequently gets mentioned is Barbie Girl.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And so it's songs that just have that. I'm sure Gangnam Style, probably somebody, Satan's down there doing the dance, which brings me to another country song, Achy Breaky Heart.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much auditory pornography. So
I've got some chime in from our audience here. And one you just said is in that set of responses. Danny, Pop Goes the Weasel. Especially if it were over and over again.
Pop goes the weasel, weasel. Pop pop goes the weasel, weasel. Pop goes the weasel when the weasel goes pop. Are we talking about that one or the Around the Mulberry Bush one?
I believe Around the Mulberry Bush one, I'm assuming, is what he means.
Where the
Allison, this is
the mammal.
this is the song that never ends. Yes.
Oh,
How
yeah.
apropos.
Yeah, Sabrina, welcome. She has two songs to put into the mix: Cotton Eye Joe and Baby Shark. Do 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 do.
Now
Every
Sabrina.
parent hates that.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bad, and it's outlived its novelty for sure.
Yes.
But Sabrina, are we talking about the Cotton Eye Joe? Like, anytime there's a talent show in the 5th grade at the end of the year, there's always 2 or 3 Cotton Eye Joes, even to this day, where they do the Cotton Eye Joe dance. But I'm going to go old school here. That our friend Doug has a wax 45 that his parents had, and the original Cotton Eye Joe sounds nothing like the techno version because I'm going to censor myself, but I'm really not kidding. It goes, well, what's that smell? Bull poop. Pilot, what? Bull poop. What the hell you say? And it was like a square dancing song.
Really?
And Eric, you remember being there for that night.
Yeah.
And the whole song, and it's old, and it talks about bull feces the whole time. Howard looks stunned and horrified. But I'm not kidding. That's really how it sounds. Like, pile of what? Bull.
Oh.
Bull hum. But
Other songs from our audience here. Scott Brune with Welcome Scott. He also in with Achy Breaky Heart.
Yeah.
And Allison agrees with Baby Shark. She has young children, I know. Probably hears her fill of that. Jackie wants to say she loves that Doors song, Howard, but the oregano makes it better. I thought it would take some of the edge off the song, but, you know. Savannah, 500 Miles by the Proclaimers.
That was a Barcodes and a Vinyl Countdown / Noble Hardyman staple.
Danny, oh Mickey, you're so fine.
That was a Noble Hardyman Barcodes Vinyl Countdown staple that we played.
Allison found humor in Doors and the Doobage. It sounds like the name of speaking of tribute band, that sounds like the name of a tribute band. Doors and the Doobage. Allison, I'm Blue by Eiffel 65. I'm not familiar with that one.
Now I'll have to look that up.
Sabrina, 99, Red Luft Balloons.
Another Noble Hardyman Barcodes Vinyl Countdown staple.
So what are they trying to say there?
I know, right?
Jess, American Pie drives me nuts. I like American Pie. I do. Allison also in agreement with Gangnam Style. Lived in Korea when it was popular. God help you.
Was that the unofficial national anthem or something?
Korea pop. I believe that's part of the K-pop. Yeah, that's right. Danny did say yes around the mulberry bush. That's the Pop Goes the Weasel he was referring to. Sabrina talking more about the techno version that had the dance to it when I was in school, but now going to have to find the older version. That would be the Cotton Eye Joe.
Made me wonder about the ocular condition that this Joe had, and to have cotton eyes. It sounds like a real problem.
He pissed in his ocular cavity.
Vicky. Is there an episode that goes by where we cannot slip in one So I Married an Axe Murderer reference?
No. We've had 61 episodes. There's been one in each one, I believe. Jackie says Flight of the Bumblebee. Gary Chapman says all these songs have been on his playlist. And Gary, you must have a different playlist than everyone else in the room.
Yeah.
Scott agrees American Pie, but only if sung karaoke style by his good friend Dwight Ratliff. Just when you think he's done, he starts all over again.
Oh, man. American Pie, you know, now that I think about it, I've heard more than one person mention that they have a distaste for that song. And to be honest, there's been very few times where I've listened to it from beginning to end. But if you get stuck in the car with it, especially by somebody who really likes the song, I could see where that might be problematic.
Absolutely. Any other songs to put on the list, gentlemen?
Oh, gosh.
Great. I've got to go to the bathroom. So.
Howard, did you say you had to go do some business? Because you kind of cut out there.
No, I was saying American Pie. If you've ever been on radio, that's the go to the bathroom song.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I thought he said I had to go to the bathroom too. I thought Howard was going to conduct some commerce on live TV there, but you know, there's a few songs that come to mind.
I'm old, but I'm not old.
I think that there is probably some cartoon songs. I would say like anything from like Little Mermaid, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, where parents have had to listen to it over and over and over again. So I'm sure we could fill up our, you know, loop requests with something like that, because that usually finds its way on there. I've got one from recently. When this song was popular a few years back, my daughter Reagan just absolutely played it over and over and over. It's that, you know, Body Like a Back Road song.
Body like what?
Body like a
Body.
back road. But I always made up lyrics to it, which made her. It's like body like a flat toad that's been hit on the road, and she would always get mad when I would sing those lyrics. But yeah, that's one of those songs that definitely made the loop. Oh, Danny, Red Red Wine, I love that song.
Red, red wine.
Chink, 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 chink. I love that song.
Stay close to me. Danny also says they make drops for the cotton eye. That'd be Visine or...
Maybe Joseph has been cured by now.
So you mentioned the kid songs, and maybe the annoyance goes a little bit away when your children grow up.
Yeah.
Because it seems like grandparents can handle all that stuff over and over again, and they don't get annoyed by it.
But they get, well, no, I can't say this anymore because that era is come and gone. But grandparents, when we were little, got their revenge by making us watch Lawrence Welk at their house when they had control of the TV that had one channel, and you were made to watch Lawrence Welk when Animal Kingdom was played on the other channel, or the Muppets, and you weren't allowed to watch it.
Or the Wonderful World of Disney.
Yes. So, Howard, are you back with us? I think he's having some internet troubles.
Yeah. Well, we'll proceed.
We'll proceed. But seems like our suggestions have dried up.
Well, I can read some of the comments on this tweet.
Yes, please do.
It'll probably generate some more discussion, I'm sure. And how we missed this one, I'm not sure, because this should have been something that was high on the list of someone. The Barney theme song.
Oh. Barney in itself. And it's not because it's a little kid's show. Just watching that, there's nice and sweet, and there's pancreas exploding, overindulgence of sweetness to the point where it's phony. Yeah, the Barney song, definitely. Forgotten about that one.
Another comment here, Afternoon Delight.
A little bit before my time to have to experience it. It's constant playing, but, I could definitely see where that would be. Is Safety Dance on that list? As much as I love that song, I bet that there's some people that hate it.
Well, I'm scrolling through here, and the Cars for Kids song comes up quite a bit in these comments. Someone actually put Hotel California, which is surprising.
Sacrilege.
Oh, and this gentleman here will incur your ire, Brady.
Oh, no.
Anything by the Police.
Well.
And Message in a Bottle is the worst, according to this individual.
Huh. It's a pretty complex song. I don't. That song doesn't strike me as a earworm.
Howard, you're back with us. Do you have any other songs to input to the list?
And as soon as he starts talking, oh, actually, I can't hear him.
So
Are you
say, I
there
think
now?
he's. Yeah, there you are. I
There
think
you
you were muted.
Yeah, we kind of locked up. We've got some problems with the internet down here in Ripley. The phenomena, beep 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 phenomena. That drives you nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
played on the Muppet Show all the.
Yes.
Right. Several
That
tweets.
sounds terrible.
Sorry, you're cutting in and out again, Howard. We Built This City by Starship.
I think that song gets put on this list because it's mentioned as like one of the worst songs of all time in a lot of hipster mags. But I could see it being annoying to some, but Loop in Hell, no, I don't give it that kind of.
No, agreed. All right, a couple more from the audience here. And to my comment about the grandparents, Danny says grandparents' hearing isn't as good as it used to be. That is true, or maybe they do better at ignoring things than younger parents do. Danny also says Safety Dance should be on the list. And Gary, I don't know if that's a second vote for Safety Dance. It said work for the father-daughter dance back in December, good old 2020. Yeah. And Allison, so now all these annoying songs will be stuck in my head now. Yes, you will have a loop of many songs that will be stuck in your head that will be playing in Hades. And Sabrina with another song here, Putting on the Ritz by Taco.
I don't with a fashion pizza.
Putting on the Ritz.
Yeah, the '80s version. I could see where that. That could probably chafe a few. Hey, I've heard many people mention, not just a couple of our friends, but the opening strains to "Money" by Pink Floyd. The ching, ching, ba 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 ba.
Yep.
Money. Ba 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 ba. Yeah, that's.
Dipping back into the 80s, Rock Me Amadeus.
Amadeus. Look up my Amadeus. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always like that song. But
I'm good with that song, especially the German version. I could do the German version.
Yeah.
let's hear
It's
it.
just,
Let's hear it. I'm not saying I could do that. I said that wrong. I can't do the German version. I can listen to the German version.
Nine, my friend. Peaches.
Another few songs. Ebony and Ivory live together in perfect harmony.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe at one time, but you don't hear that song much anymore, really.
No, you don't. And considering that both of those are icons, I'm surprised that I love that song as a Ute. Like anyway, Ice Ice Baby. I figured that was going to be on there.
I don't know Peaches by Presidents of the United States either.
Peaches for free. Oh, yeah, it's
I know Peaches
pretty.
and Herb, but
Yeah.
Or is it Peaches and Herb? I never
Peaches,
knew it was
Yeah.
referring to a person or a section in the grocery.
exactly.
I think the guy. I think it was the guy. Was Herb, right?
Yeah.
So it's not Herb.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just liked his ganja with his fresh fruit. Peaches and
And
Herb.
it's still healthy. That was his munchy go-to. Peaches.
Yeah, Danny Ice Ice Baby. Yeah, I'm sure that would be on many a list as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, now we've inspired you to go out and seek these songs or hear these songs in your head, and we are sorry. But they're on this list for a reason. And I think most people agree that you can at least put yourself in the shoes of somebody that they would definitely be. You can see why they're annoying.
Correct.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, let me get my banners together here. And racial banner.
Let's see. Well,
had we exhausted that topic?
I think we've exhausted it, because then I think we run the risk of if we dive into this too deep, it'll become a discussion of whether we like the songs or not, and some of the songs might get to be deep cuts that are on the, like that one that was mentioned, the Am I Blue song by Eiffel Tower people or whatever it was.
Right. One more to put up here by Scott Boone. Anything by the Wiggles. I hadn't heard the Wiggles in years, but they were all over the place at one point in time. They kind of went away.
And then one guy went solo, and it was just Wiggle.
Oh, Brady.
Sorry. The low-hanging fruit.
All right. Memberships support our work on the podcast. For more information, go to our website, playitbyyourpodcast.com/support. And you can look at, I brought up the web page, but there is a section there. If you go to membership/support, in the middle of the menu, you can go to our crowdsourcing platform called Buy Me a Coffee, and that kind of deals with our membership portion of our website. We want to say thank you to our members, Earbud Hall of Famers, Joe Rocky, Christina Rocky, Chuck Griffin, Allison Chavis, Jessica Longacre, and our newest member, as we mentioned earlier, Savannah Brown. Thank you all for your support of our podcast. All right, so again, we put the guest host in the middle and let him get his bearings before he takes on his topic. So, Howard, you have topic number 2, 20-ish minutes.
Topic number 2.
You may begin.
We'll see if we can go with that. Well, this is a topic that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and it also fits in with the traveling Griffins being on vacation. Yeah, since I work the Rankin House, I see a lot of tourists. It is a tourist attraction, but I went, instead of a historical route, I went to the weird route. Historical attractions around the country that may or may not interest you, but are definitely out of the ordinary. I don't know if Todd and family are going to any of these, but he certainly can, on his way back, take the list down and see what he's going with. These were compiled from several lists from the internet, just whatever came to caught my eye. And the first one is in Houston, Texas, and it is the Beer Can House. The Beer Can House, a house entirely made of over 50,000 beer cans. And the interesting thing is, these beer cans came about over a span of 20 years as Mr. Miliskovich and his wife drank 20,000 cans of beer, or 50,000 cans of beer in 20 years, and made a house out of it. So you can go and find your brand. I'm sure there's a lot of Red Stripe, but 50,000 cans of beer might excite someone, but remember, they are empty.
The question is, do they take one down and pass it around?
I imagine they
Speaking of
might.
loops in hell.
You know, what about that conversation? Honey, we need to remodel the kitchen. I'll pick up a 6-pack or a case on the way home. So, yes.
My question is, how do they fit their livers into the door?
Well, maybe they just kind of hang the cans, and it's more like one of those 1960s beaded curtains, and maybe that's how they get in. But and from the picture I saw on the internet, that's probably pretty accurate. So there we are. We visited Texas, staying out in the middle of the country. I've never seen a blue whale, but you can see one in Catoosa, Oklahoma. It is along Route 66, and it is built in 1980 and is approximately 47 feet long and 15 feet wide. And a gentleman built it as an anniversary gift for his wife.
Made out of what?
Concrete. A concrete blue whale for anniversary. So, Eric, there you go. There's an idea right then and there. I'm not sure how that would be accepted.
Well, you know, my anniversary is coming up Friday, my 10th anniversary, and is 10th anniversary concrete? Is that what the gift is?
Honey,
yes, concrete.
guess
is
what
the
I
gift
got you for your anniversary? A
Yes.
3-story high concrete cassowary.
So I knew your anniversary was coming up, so I thought I'd give you a hint or two of what may or may not be accepted.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Staying in the Midwest, sort of, for those of us who are enthusiasts of history, if you can't make it to Europe and see Stonehenge, you can see Carhenge in Nebraska, Alliance, Nebraska. It is a replica of Stonehenge made using late model cars. So I guess you can go and dance around the muffler and have your Wiccan ceremony, but a
The
family in
druids are going to sacrifice the child on the Pinto.
That's it. Well, that's not very difficult to do in a Pinto. All you got to do is slam into the rear end of them and they explode, from my memory. So
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that in Brown County.
Hey, I drove
Probably-
around in a Pinto. That was my first car.
Well, who bought that for you, Brady? I'd be kind of suspicious.
Dad. He bought it new in 1976, and when it hit 300,000 miles, basically, it was turned over to me when I was 16.
Yeah. So he wants you to break down and wants to get rid of it. So he's just hoping you rolled out of it quick enough that
Exactly.
you got it in the rear. Once again, out in the Midwest, I love ketchup or ketchup, whichever way you want to pronounce that. But the world's largest ketchup bottle is in Collinsville, Illinois. It is a water tower. It's kind of an off-brand, but Brooks Ketchup, I've seen it in stores on the lower shelf below the Hunts and the Heinz. But it would hold 640,000 bottles of ketchup. So if
Wow.
you are a condiment connoisseur, that is where you need to go.
Can I go for the easy dad joke here?
Go right
By
ahead.
all means, I wouldn't expect anything less.
All right. So if it's the world's largest bottle of ketchup, instead of making it a water tower, they should have put apartments in it, and then it could be a condominium.
Ooh. Ooh.
Boo.
Yes,
I
that's,
just came up with that off the top of my head. As bad as it is, give me
And-
points for spontaneous creativity.
And it sounds just like you came up with that off the top of your
top
head.
of your head, yes, absolutely. But I'm giving you props for it. Giving you props for it. So
And we have some audience input here, Howard, if you want.
There we go.
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, Danny goes along with my comment about their beer bellies and their livers fitting in the door.
Absolutely.
Sure, they had quite the beer bellies. As Sabrina says, they just host all the community block parties and are very serious about their recycling. So they just had the beer cans
be.
to their house.
That would certainly do it.
Danny also asked what anniversary year is the whale. So it could be concrete, could be a whale for an anniversary gift. I don't know.
could
He said, "Why would you build a blue whale?" Probably because she would not appreciate a sperm whale. Just saying.
I would be the one to be suspected to go for that joke, but go right ahead, Brady.
I was going to say, we invited Howard on this show to take on the Todd role, and you're taking it away from him, Brady.
That's it.
I'm
That's
sorry.
Right. That's right. That's right. I've got a couple later on that will roll right into that. Roll right into that.
Oh no!
So, yeah. There you go.
Make the children
So-
leave the room now.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Uh,
So we can go even farther out, a little farther out west. If we go to Hawaii,
Hawaii.
this is one that I personally want to visit. I want to go to the Dole Plantation because they have the largest garden maze there, and it is a 3-acre pineapple plant maze.
I
And
love
with your
pineapple.
With your $8 admission, you get a free Dole Whip afterwards.
Wow.
Free Dole Whip. Yeah, so that's kind of a good thing. Of course, it's going to cost you $4,000 to get to Hawaii, and you take the $8 tour. But hey,
Okay.
if you love Dole
I'm not
Whip,
gonna lie. I'm doing that. I love pineapple, and that sounds intriguing to me.
I think it sounds great. And I have a wife who's next year for her birthday says we are going on a trip to Hawaii, one way or the other. If I have to sell a kidney or something, I guess that's how we're going.
Or swim.
But we're going to go. We're going to go. Since we're out west, let's come back to the left coast, and this is a very left coast kind of a thing. If you break down driving through California, let's hope you're near Ocotillo, California, because if you break down, you may be towed to the Coyote Flying Saucer Retrieval and Repair Service. It doesn't sound like much, but anytime you can go to a junkyard and see replicas of flying saucers in movies in various states of repair, everything from the capsule from Lost in Space through Star Wars, it might be worth a flat tire review.
Well, taking the current news into account, maybe they're not replicas.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But that it could be, if the Navy's seeing all of those unidentified flying objects, of course they've changed the letters on that now to
I asked
something else.
Denise Amber about that because she's in the Navy
Yeah.
and she's a Navy meteorologist. She just gave an answer like, "Nah, who knows." I think she's keeping the secrets.
She could
She is
be.
keeping
Yeah,
the secrets.
yeah, she is now definitely a government employee.
And why not? We're not going to put these things in Area 51. Let's send them to Okeechobee, California, or whatever that place is. I mean,
Yeah.
who would ever look
Yeah.
there?
Ocotillo
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, Area 51's too close for that. So since we're talking about bad jokes, we'll go with the corn right now. If you're in South Dakota, there is the Corn Palace, where
Been
everything.
there.
You've been there? Really?
Yes.
Everything is covered with thousands of bushels of corn. Correct?
The building is like a
Thousands of
mosaic
bushels
and
of
tapestry of corn.
Oh, I may have died. Are we there? So,
It's like a big
Eric,
flea market
what-
kind of thing.
yeah, Brady, they have a big flea market there.
Well, that's what I remember being as a youth. Like it was like a convention center, a very gaudy, like you would imagine Wayne Newton sashaying through there at any time, but it
Well,
was
that's
all
not so bad.
decorated with corn and everything on the outside.
Well, Wayne Newton would be a lot of corn right there. So, yeah, they said thousands of bushels of corn arranged into a one-of-a-kind mural. So if you're into that kind of corn, that's great. Sticking with the corn and getting a little closer to home, there is the infamous Field of Corn in Dublin, Ohio. Yes, Dublin, Ohio. It has 109 ears of corn planted in a row. They are 6 feet 3 inches tall, and they are to celebrate the hybridization of corn that took place in Ohio.
Sign me up for that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I can look out my window and see that.
see that too, yes. But I mean, not a 6'3" ear of corn, not a
No.
stalk, ear.
Oh,
So that's the
gotcha.
difference.
Gotcha.
So,
Corn.
but Dublin, Ohio, the place where they have your field.
Oh, Dublin, Ohio is a very nice, affluent
is.
suburb.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Very
you know,
similar
they've got-
to a Mason sort of place.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been there on several occasions, but I've never found this corn. But that pales in comparison to one place I've been, and that is Marion, Ohio, to the Popcorn Museum.
The what?
The Popcorn Museum in Marion, Ohio, dedicated to the growing of popcorn from the time that the cavemen grew it all the way through now. And Marion, Ohio was the home, and if you were a Cub Scout, you might remember this, when you had to sell Pow Wow popcorn for a fundraiser. It was
Yeah.
usually packaged right there in beautiful Marion, Ohio, and they have an entire museum for it.
Did I hear you say the cavemen ate it?
Cavemen, that's what they say.
So-
Cavemen ate corn. So
I wonder how that went down. Like, did it get struck by lightning? Like, ooh, dang, like, corn go pop. Have butter for the yak.
yeah. So yeah, so that's the displays. They have all kinds of popcorn carts from like the 1800s, late 1800s through there. And at one point, and this is what I like, there was a fire at the popcorn factory, and they have pictures of what looks like firemen standing hip deep in snow, and it's popcorn. So
Now,
that's in my memory, and it's in beautiful Marion, Ohio.
Sweet.
So you were getting close to home.
so I want to put up one comment here from Allison. In response to the discussion on UFOs, Allison, also a military veteran, she simply says we can't say about the UFOs. So she is also keeping the secret. Way to work for your
Yes.
country, Allison.
Yes. So moving into some other stranger areas. If you want to go back to
The
Texas,
back of a Volkswagen.
yes. If you want to go back to Texas, you can go to the gas station. Now, I don't have anything that refers to I married an axe murder, But the gas station is from the slasher movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you've
Gotcha.
ever seen the original, they have turned that gas station into something else that will kill you because they sell day-old plastic wrapped deli sandwiches, old pickles in a bag, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre barbecue, which I don't think I'd want to do that. But if you're into slasher movies, you can go and see that.
So what kind of barbecue are we talking here?
That's just it. We don't know. With Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you might never know.
The human barbecue?
Human barbecue, yeah, could be. Some of it's probably sweet, some of it's sour, all of it probably a little rancid, since it's coming from a gas station. Yes. Another California oddity is and I'm going to say this slowly, the Glass Outhouse Art Gallery. Glass Outhouse Art Gallery.
Do tell.
It's an eclectic collection of outdoor artwork, and everything from made with pencils to in quicksand, making this art. Other things that might look like quicksand have been molded to art. And the only bathroom on the property is a glass outhouse with a one-way window for a door, so you can see out, but no one can see it. So if you want to do your business in public, go to California. I'm sure it'll be much appreciated.
I don't think I could.
Has to have an app for that because people go to the bathroom in public.
Yeah, it depends on what street you're on and what city in California where you can see that. But now they've built an art gallery for all of that.
One-way window or not, I believe I would get stage fright and could not conduct my commerce.
Exactly.
Transaction
exactly.
denied.
Yeah, it's kind of like being at Walmart and somebody's in the next stall. You just kind of wait it out. This is probably one of the grossest things on the list, but in Seattle, which itself can be a little sketchy, you have the gum wall, G-U-M wall. People since 1990 have just been walking by, taking their gum and sticking it on the wall, much like your students do underneath their desks.
Right.
But it has been going on since 1990. The wall is now 50 feet long and several inches thick.
Ew.
It says it's a bit smelly, but worth your visit. And that's Seattle for you.
Smelly like what? I mean, does gum doesn't?
Or saliva and breath funk.
Yeah, saliva and breath funk. What you pop that piece of gum in your mouth to get rid of, I guess, sticks to the gum, and after a while, since it's been in the hot sun, much like roadkill, it's kind of ferment, something like that.
Allison says she's been there and seen that, the gum wall.
Oh,
And it got a stink to it, and the stink is of bad breath. Ew.
Ew.
I just can't get it. I mean, I'd hate to sit down and accidentally touch the bottom of a table where somebody's just, and you're like, even if it's dried up, you kind of pull your hand back and go, ooh. But no, not good at all.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Foul.
Yeah. Now, going along with the largest items on the list, if you want to see the Jolly Green Giant, he is in Blue Earth, Minnesota. I don't know why he's not in Green Earth, Minnesota, but he's in Blue Earth, Minnesota. The Jolly Green Giant, a 55.5-foot tall, 8,000-pound rendition of the Jolly Green Giant.
Ho,
But he
ho,
wasn't-
ho.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Santa Claus.
Not Santa Claus. He is on the list, however. But
No, the cadence is different. Santa Claus would be ho, ho, ho.
yes.
Green Giant is ho, ho, ho.
But this wasn't put there by the Green Giant Food Company. It was, and we all know, Eric, Brady, I know, radio disc jockeys can do strange things.
Yes.
A guy by the name of Paul Hedberg took the initiative to fund it, have it created, thinking it would attract more visitors to his small town.
Did it
And
work?
did. It worked. They actually have a giant days festival. They love the statue, and in the winter, the Blue Earth Fire Department put a bright red scarf around his neck.
Very good.
So, what can we do to build up Sardinia that would be an equivalent to the Jolly Green Giant?
See, you got me thinking, because like if it has to be related to something like that, we actually had the cemetery where the model for Aunt Jemima is buried.
Yep.
The Aunt Jemima cemetery. It's right down the road. For real.
Yep, it's in
Aunt
Red Oak.
Jemima is
Red
buried.
Oak.
Yeah.
In Red Oak?
So we couldn't go with that. Maybe a large Mrs. Butterworth, or what? Oh, I know. The Gorton's fisherman could stride the dam at Lake Winoka. Like the
That would-
Colossus
oh,
of Rhodes. The
yes.
Gordons, man, of Winoka.
Gordon's dude, yeah, in his yellow slicker. That would be
Yes.
great. That would be great, yeah. Oh. We've exhausted it.
You can go on if you want.
I do have a couple of more that will fit in pretty well, and this one is important to everyone here, and probably everyone listening. We need to go to New Haven, Connecticut, and eat Lewis's lunch. Everyone takes a claim to fame for who invented the hamburger, but legend has it that Lewis Layson was the first person to sell this food from a food cart. It was invented by mistake. He was selling steak sandwiches and ran out of steak sandwiches and started chopping up and selling the pieces on a bun. It stuck. In fact, if you go there, they say the rest is history, because there's only 2 sandwiches on the menu, a hamburger and a cheeseburger, and a sign that says, this is not Burger King. You don't get it your way. You can get it Lewis's way, or you don't get it at all, on white toast without ketchup or other condiments. But everybody loves a burger. I'd like to see that.
Well, Brady would not be imbibing if it has white condiments on it.
Yes, no condiments at all. So there we are. And the
Oh,
last
no
two I
condiments.
have,
Gotcha.
yes, the last two I have are kind of just for in Todd's honor. I was cruising through my phone to get this list. Of course, the screen on my phone's not as big as my laptop, and I saw the world's largest chest. And then I scrolled, and it said of drawers. At first, I thought we were going to Dollywood, but no, it's in High Point, North Carolina, and it's a 20-foot tall statue, rebuilt and remodeled into a 38-foot tall statue of a chest of drawers. So, no, the largest chest is not in Dollywood. It is in High Point, North Carolina.
With the world's largest mismatched socks
Yes,
in
could
said
be.
drawer.
Could be. And keeping with large chests, the next item is the largest chicken wing. It is at Madeira Beach, Florida's Hooters.
In there.
You've been to the Hooters in Madeira Beach, Florida?
I've been to Madeira Beach.
Oh, okay.
I've not
Okay.
been to Hooters.
Well, I was keeping with the chess theme, and I figure, Todd was down in Florida. Maybe he stopped by here just for that. But it is a 1,037-pound chicken wing hung off a 14-foot tall crossbeam, and it is about 11 feet long. So if we want to take road trips and see the largest, the weirdest, the strangest,
Did it come from a pterodactyl?
no, I guess it's plaster and fiberglass, but
Yeah. Wow.
my stepson actually received as a gag gift from me a gift card to Hooters, because what else do you give a 16-year-old boy to embarrass him? So I think we're going to save that for our next trip down to Florida,
Madeira
until we're
Beach.
going on a historical tour and see the largest chicken wing. And I'll
Yes.
take him to
I would
Hooters.
like to add one to the list.
What's that?
I want to add one attraction to the list, because I think especially our listeners not from the area, like Allison, we actually have, for real, about 2 hours from here, the Mothman Museum
Yes.
in Point Pleasant,
Pleasant.
Ohio.
No.
And that's where the whole movie was based. And there actually is a Mothman statue in a Mothman museum.
Yep.
So I've often wanted to go. They say it's creepy as all get out.
And
Well,
tacking
Brady,
on
for
just-
disclosure's sake, Allison is actually from the area. She just doesn't live in the area currently. I had Allison in school at Lynchburg.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is news to me. I thought we just picked up a random listener from Alabama. Now my world's crushed.
Oh, it's just,
Sorry, there was a connection there, but
Yep. So just to tack on what you were talking about, Aunt Jemima, her name was Rosa Washington Riles, a descendant of former slaves who is buried in the Presbyterian churchyard at Red Oak, Ohio. And I send lots of people there every week to take a look at her gravestone because her likeness, with the permission of the company, is there as Aunt Jemima.
Wow.
Yep.
There we go.
all right. A few comments here. Jackie says that the Gorton Fisherman doesn't work. Maybe the Tidy Bowl Man at Lake Winoka. We could
I
do
like that.
Yeah.
that. And Allison
we could-
does. Oh, go ahead, Howard.
I was going to say maybe we could put the Tidy Bowl Man at the dam and put the Gorton's Fisherman at the beach at Lake Winoka and have dueling statues.
Tidy Bowl Man could be at the sewage treatment plant in Lake Winoka.
There you go. There you go.
And Allison does say she's from there. Will be home on the 4th of July. And Allison also says there's a geocache at Aunt Jemima's gravesite. Did not know that. either.
Yes, there's one there and there's one at the Rankin House. So Allison, when you come home for 4th of July, consider coming down to Ripley for the fireworks show. We open the grounds at the Rankin House, and you can watch the fireworks at eye level, all for free.
And Howard is a humbleman, and I'm going to go ahead and toot his horn here. Howard is a curator. I think that's the correct word.
Docent.
There you go.
If you're going to toot his horn, you have to buy him dinner first, Brady.
Yeah. Well, hey, but he just recently gave a tour of the Rankin House to a world famous celebrity. And who would that be, Howard?
Which one?
Oh,
Which
your
one?
Your niece. Your niece, for one, and your
my
mother.
niece, yes. My niece that was there
And
and is
Clooney.
world renowned as she is. But the one person that you gave a tour to that might outdo my niece.
Nick Clooney.
I thought it was George Clooney.
Nick Clooney.
Oh, I could have swore it was George Clooney.
Yep, Nick and Nina, very, very wonderful people. Of course, being a television guy, Nick was always
Oh,
my
yeah.
almost my hero, and such a gracious gentleman. I get to talk to people all over the world. I've had some famous people there that they say, if you're just in the area, don't say things. But your mom and your niece are probably the most famous ones
Yeah.
in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So,
That is very cool.
yep.
Very cool.
Yep. It's a labor of love, to be quite honest.
All right. Thank you, Howard, for the topic. Well done.
Thank you.
And before we get into topic 3, which is our game of the evening, if you ever wonder what we're talking about when we use certain terms, check out our isms on the website.
Like conducting commerce.
Yes, conducting commerce. We've made mention of that a few times here. If you want to know what that means, go check out the isms. It's in the menu at the top of the page at our website, www.playitbyearpodcast.com. And a lot of things there. We've mentioned a few things, but a lot of things there about the show. So check it out. And as I said, I have topic number 3. Let me get the box here. Topic 3 is our game of the evening called Confident? ?
Okay.
All right. As always, our guest host will play, and just to briefly go over the game, and I've told them that they need something to write on as we go along here, and obviously, as always, audience can chime in with their answers as well, and or actually you can kind of take the stance of who is closest to. Actually, you probably should just chime in on your own answers here, because it may take a little bit of time to go back through. After they give their answers, you decide who's closest. But so here's the gist of the game. The gist of the game is you have to guess a range of numbers. So, and I'll give you an example question here. The example question, what is the hottest air temperature ever recorded in the United States in degrees Fahrenheit? So the players have to guess a range of numbers. And the lower the range they guess, if it's correct, now to be correct, the actual number has to be inside the range or identical to either the top or the bottom of the range. So the answer of the question is 134 degrees Fahrenheit. Howard put 110 to 152. Brady put 110 to 130. So Howard would be correct because Brady's range was too short.
Eric,
Story of your life, Brady.
I threw in your my drawing of one of my aquatic sea animals under Santa Monica Pier.
Oh, Lord, you're going to get us off on a tangent. We don't have time for tangents right now. It's for another day.
No time for tangents. Wasn't that Andy Griffith and Don Knotts? No, wait, that's
yeah.
no time for Sergeant.
That's Sergeant's, right? Yeah.
Sergeants, yes.
My dad loved that movie, especially the saluting toilets.
Yes.
All right, a couple comments before we get started. Danny said, accurately, there would not be a George without a Nick. That is true, as Nick is George's father. He is your father. And Sabrina says, pretty sure George Clooney's parents still live in Augusta. And I believe it is actually in Augusta.
Actually, Nick Clooney provided, he was the official of my uncle's wedding.
Oh,
Seriously?
Yeah.
Which uncle?
A few years back. My late Uncle Jimmy.
Huh. How about that?
And Nick is a movie star. He was in Monuments Men, playing the older version of George.
Indeed.
There you go.
All right, and welcome to Mr. Heron. Better late than never. That is true. Welcome, sir. All right, so our game again is confident, question mark. We'll see how confident our co-hosts are. And we are playing to 15, so the scoring goes like this. Whoever gets the answer correct in the smallest range gets 3 points. If you get the answer correct in any range, you get 1 point. So you have a chance to get points either way. Obviously, if you were like Brady's answer and was outside of your range, you get 0 points, and we're playing to 15. So that is the deal. And again, we invite the audience to enter their own ranges of numbers to help answer the questions. So here's our first question. And this question is about the Billboard Hot 100 music chart. What is the longest a song has been at number 1 consecutively in weeks? What is the longest a song has been at number 1 consecutively in weeks? So again, we invite the audience, put your ranges out there in the comments. What is the longest on the Billboard Hot 100 chart a song has been at number 1 consecutively in weeks? Brady still writing?
I got it.
All right. Brady? Another Sienna Mule. His range is 10 to 16. Howard's range, 15 to 29. And we'll put up a few audience input ranges here. Danny says 52 to 102. Gary says 50 to 83 weeks. Miss Wilson, welcome. 30 to 40 weeks, she says. Mr. Heron, 14 to 21 weeks. And the correct answer is 19 weeks. 19 weeks. Howard, I believe, got that correct.
Oh, man.
He said 15 to 29, so he gets 3 points. Brady, again, outside of your range, 0.
Just curious, what was that song?
With 1 week solo in 18 weeks featuring Billy Ray Cyrus, Old Town Road by Lil Nas X. was a huge 2019 hit and crushed the previous 16-week record. I have no idea what that song is, but congratulations.
Take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride it till I can't go. It's for
I do know that song now.
Yes.
I wish you hadn't sung it to me.
That might be one of those from the first topic.
I was going to say, that could be on the Lupin Hill, certainly. All right, so Howard 3, Brady 0. And
He's being
our audience
confident.
members. See, our audience members who got that correct. Jim got it correct. I believe he's the only one who put in a guess. So good job, Mr. Heron. All right, next question. Flying from New York to London, what is the fastest that it's ever been done in hours and minutes for a commercial flight? Key words. Flying from New York to London, what is the fastest it's ever been done in hours and minutes for a commercial flight?
Got it.
So again, we invite our audience to chime in. Once again, finally the question, flying from New York to London, what is the fastest it's ever been done in hours and minutes for a commercial flight? Howard will let you give your response first this time. His range is 2 hours and 15 minutes to 3 hours and 10 minutes. Brady?
On the Concorde.
2 hours and 25 minutes to 3 hours.
2 hours and 25 minutes to 3 hours. This is going to be tight here. All right, so we have some audience responses here. Allison says 9 hours and 30 minutes, so she gave an actual direct answer. Danny 3:45 to 4:05. Gary 2 hours and 28 minutes to 4 hours and 12 minutes. And Mr. Heron 1 hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours and 10 minutes. Our actual answer, 2 hours, 53 minutes. So I think both of you got it correct. Now I don't know who got it most correct.
2:15.
I said 2 hours and 25.
Yep, that would be.
Okay, yeah, that would be the shorter range.
Yep.
So, Brady.
Good job.
Brady with
Thank
3
you.
points,
That's
and
close.
Howard, you get 1 for that, so you were within the range as well.
What a great.
So again, for trivia purposes, the Concorde covered 3,470 miles with the top cruising speed of 1,350 miles per hour. That's twice as fast as most passenger jets these
All I could think of
days.
was Phil Collins.
Yeah.
When he flew from
Yeah.
London to Philadelphia
Right.
for Live Aid, and I just
Exactly.
remember that number rattling in my head.
I couldn't remember what it was, but that was going through my mind too.
Yeah.
Yep. So Howard gets the point, so he maintains the lead. Howard 4, Brady 3.
Good margin.
All right. So this question near and dear to our hearts. This is great. Because I would expect this question to be of the other gender, so you'll understand after I answer it. Hygiene in the United States. What percentage of women wash their hands after using the restroom before the 2020 pandemic? What percentage of women wash their hands after using the restroom before the 2020 pandemic?
Got it.
Got it.
Now we do have answers for both genders here as we read
Oh.
the trivia portion of the card, so that will bring some light on the subject here as well. All right, so audience responses rolling in. Brady, we'll let you give your response first.
78 to 83%.
78 to 83% Brady says. Howard?
Whoops. 37 to 42 for the women. I did 15 to 28 for the men.
37 to 42 for the women. And gentlemen, neither one of you got this correct, but we'll give the audience responses here first. Allison says 18%. Allison, not much faith in her fellow women.
That's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Yeah, fellow women. Yeah.
Fellow women, yes.
Like Lady G-Men.
All right. Mr. Heron, 60 to 75%, he says. Gary says 63 to 83%. Danny says 30 to 40%. And Miss Wilson, on the other end of the spectrum, has a high level of faith in her fellow women, 90 to 95%. Prior to the pandemic, washed their hands, according to Miss Wilson. The answer, gentlemen, as I said, neither one of you got it right. 65%. 65%.
Right in the midst.
This compares. Now, Howard went ahead and put his guess on the men. What was your guess on the men's?
15 to 28%.
15, 28. Now, you don't have as much faith in men as they actually carried out.
I was going to say 30% for men. That would be my guess. But
Well, and you were a little bit off as well. The men did a better job than either one of you thought. This compares with 31% of men, according to the Center for Disease Control study. But research suggests only 5% of people do it properly. So now I'm just throwing out a guess here. As far as the men go, I can't speak to the women part of that, but I would guess men not doing it properly, quote unquote, let me put air quotes out there, probably would only be using water and not water and soap after doing number one. That would be my guess as far as not doing it properly. You do see that quite a bit. But,
we know where we've been.
Yes.
that's why I tell my wife I know where I've been.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to accept that as an answer.
Or maybe
All right,
she
so-
knows where you've been and she doesn't accept that.
Well, that could be true too. All right. So neither one of you got points on that.
Ah.
Here we go. All right. Denim jeans is our next topic of the next question. In what year were they invented? That is, in what year were they patented? So, key phrase there. Denim jeans, in what year were they invented? Specifically, what year were they patented?
Got it.
Yep.
All right. Waiting for some audience comment there. Once again, the question regarding denim jeans. In what year were they invented? Specifically, what year were they patented? Jackie says 1840 to 1880. Gary says 1783 to 1847. That's quite a range of dates there. And we'll get some others rolling in here. Mr. Heron, 1830 to 1860. And Danny, 1867 to 1888. So, all right, Howard, I believe you're first this time, are you not? Or is Brady first? I can't remember. We'll put Howard first. 1785 to 1804, says Howard. Brady? 1858 to 1865, says Brady. Gentlemen, once again, neither one of you are correct. Answer is 1873. 1873.
But, see, I knew it had something to do with the California Gold Rush and Levi Strauss.
Right.
And I was thinking of the 49 I was thinking of 1849. So I just bumped it up.
I blew past. I was thinking that too, and blew past it to 85 because I was thinking the key word was patented.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Anita with 1897. Welcome, Anita, to the show. So the trivia portion of the question here, once again, 1873. The answer, invented by Jacob Davis and Levi Strauss as a sturdy pair of pants for gold miners and workers. So there's the gold miner. Dungarees. It wasn't until the 50s, the 1950s that is, that they became fashionable. Thank you to, who do you think?
Rock and roll.
A specific person made them fashionable.
Lenny and Squiggy.
James Dean.
James Dean. Yes, sir.
James Dean.
All right. Got to get you guys off the schneid here. No points for either one of them.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
So 4-3 continues to be our score. I think we may have a question here for you where you can get some points.
I hope.
Question is on James Bond movies. Specifically, specifically, how many are there? By anyone with official movie rights up to No Time to Die. So, up to that movie, how many James Bond movies are there officially?
Oh, movies. Oh, I was going
Movies.
actor.
Movies.
I got it.
Gotcha.
So again, the question about James Bond movies, how many are there by anyone with official movie rights up to the movie No Time to Die? Let's see if we have any James Bond fans out there.
I got it.
Are you showing your answer already?
Yes.
Okay, Brady's showing his answer, and it looks like it just says 6. I don't see your whole answer.
That's it.
Yeah.
6 is your answer?
That's my answer.
No range?
No
You're supposed
range.
to give a range. 6. Howard says 13 to 16. So some input from the audience here. Danny says 20 to 25. Miss Wilson 12 to 16. Gary 14 to 19. Mr. Heron 8 to 13. And I'll tell you guys, I didn't know this either, but I would have greatly underestimated the number of James Bond movies.
Oh, is it movies?
Yes,
Movies,
movies.
I thought actors that played James Bond.
No, movies.
Okay, that's why I had a very quick, very succinct answer.
Yeah, movies.
Ooh.
So the answer is 27
Yeah.
James Bond movies. 25 of those by Eon Productions, plus Never Say Never Again and the original Casino Royale. Since Dr. No in 1962, 7 different actors have played 007.
Wait. Okay. Sean Connery.
Yep.
Roger Moore. George Lazenby. Timothy Dalton. Pierce Brosnan. Daniel Craig. Who am I leaving out? That's 6.
David Niven.
David Niven played James Bond.
Dave and
Casino Royale, the original.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, well, see, I never count that one.
I don't either, but
Okay.
that's the only way I could come up with 7.
Yeah.
I didn't
Gary
realize-
says I need to watch more Bond movies, which is
Absolutely.
apparently there's a lot more to watch than you thought.
The Spy,
Danny says-
the Spy Who Loved Me is my favorite.
Danny says he was close. He was the closest of anybody, and also gave the answer David Niven, so he knew that as well. So yeah,
He knows that because at the barber shop they'll watch movies over and over again, and they'll go through like Star Wars and James Bond and all that.
but Danny, do you watch the movie Barbershop? That's the question. All right, gentlemen. I thought that one would get you on the board, but
I thought it would too, man.
I don't know. It's a good thing I don't have the 20-minute clock running on this.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple hours. All right, gentlemen. Social media is the topic of our question. Danny says yes, they do play the movie Barbershop, so that's good. How long do Americans and Canadians spend on social media each day to the nearest minute for the average 16 to 64-year-old internet user? So, being very specific here. Once again, social media. How long do Americans and Canadians spend on social media each day to the nearest minute for the average 16 to 64-year-old internet user? So your answer should be in minutes. To the nearest minute.
Got it.
Yep, we'll see. I know how long my stepson spends on the internet.
Well, the internet or social media? I mean,
Yes.
a lot of these younger kids watch YouTube a lot. I don't know if that's considered social media or not, but
He does. They do a lot of commenting back and forth on it. So
right,
it
right.
depends.
All right. So again, for the audience, social media. How long do Americans and Canadians spend on it each day to the nearest minute for the average 16 to 64-year-old internet user? And I don't know if I've ever really heard that range of ages before in anything, but all right, Howard. We'll look at your answer first.
Oops.
240 to 360 minutes, says Howard. Brady? 90 to 120 minutes,
Just for
says
throwing
Brady.
Canada in there, I don't know what the internet connectivity in Moose Jaw and Yellowknife is. So I'm
In the
gonna lower
Northwest
that average.
Territories.
Yeah, in the territories, yes.
It's about 35 Mbps in Saskatoon.
Hey?
Hey,
All right. Allison says 6 hours and 35 minutes. Gary says 48 to, I assume he meant 111 minutes would be his range because he says 48 to 11. Sounds like a Chicago song, 48 to 11.
it goes to 11.
James Heron, 45 to 58. Danny says 300 to 350. Jackie says 4 hours and 15 minutes. Allison says 395 minutes, as she put her answer in minutes. The answer, congratulations, Mr. Liming, 118 minutes. Almost hit it right on the nose.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Right on the proboscis.
I'm impressed.
So Howard, no points on that. Brady roars into the lead, 6-4.
We might have to do this game to 10, Eric.
Yeah.
All right, for the trivia part of the answer, the global average is 2 hours and 24 minutes. Latin Americans are, this is interesting, Latin Americans are the most prolific users of social media, averaging 3 hours and 32 minutes a day. How about that? I never, ever would have guessed that. I thought for sure Americans had that one locked down.
Yeah,
I
man.
would
If
say
I'm living in
American-
Belize, I'm gonna be on the beach, not on the
Yeah.
social medias.
I would think it would be Americans or maybe persons of Asian descent.
Yeah.
You know, tied in with the technology. But hey,
All right.
Unbelievable.
So once again, our score 6-4. Brady on top, and
put my rally. Put my
Rally
hat on
cap.
backwards, but
Rally Cap. Yeah.
get ready to
Don't,
go.
Don't think anyone in the audience got that correct either. So
No,
congratulations,
not at all.
Brady. You're the only one.
Wow.
All right. Brady is a beach lover. This could be right down your alley.
A beach
Question is on waves. Waves. How tall is the tallest wave ever surfed in feet? Verified by experts. How tall is the tallest wave ever surfed? Verified by experts. And Gary says, darn Canadians dragging us down on the social media.
That's it.
Blame Canada, blame Canada. Yeah. Right, Danny also said that's before COVID. That's probably correct. All right, so again, our question for the benefit of our audience and our participants, how tall is the tallest wave ever surfed in feet? Verified by experts. So what kind of expert would verify the height of a wave? An oceanographer or meteorologist? Who does such things?
I've read a book about it, but I forget the exact who does it.
And how do you measure? Do you like triangulate based upon the
I think
horizon
there-
and whatnot? Or
Yeah, I think there's some video. You know,
I just said triangulate because I really like that
yeah,
word.
I do like
Yeah,
that.
All I know about surfing comes from Point Break and a few beach blanket bingo movies from the 60s.
Oh, Point Break, outstanding movie.
I love
Outstanding.
Beach
Absolutely.
I love the Frankie Internet movies.
Yes.
All right, are we ready, gentlemen?
Ready as we'll
Yeah.
ever be.
Howard, what you got?
71 to
71
97.
to 97. Brady?
60 to 80.
60 to 80. Our audience, Gary says 17 to 38. Miss Wilson says 20 to 30. Danny says 60 to 75. Jackie says 25 to 40. And Jim says 95 to 125. The answer. Once again, Brady.
Woo!
80 feet. 80 feet.
Oh.
It's Brady on the nose.
Oh, man.
I think it was in Portugal.
Uh,
There's these rare waves that come off Portugal, and then sometimes in the North Shore in Hawaii,
Wow.
and sometimes
I'm beginning to think that question was unfair to you, Howard.
It's all right.
Brazilian Rodrigo Coxa surfed the Behemoth in November of 2017 off the coast of Nazaré, Portugal.
yeah. You said there's a book called Rogue Wave, and it's about big wave riding and fascinating read. I'm a little bit of yeah. I know I'm geeking out there, but yeah.
It's all right. Todd told me to take it easy on you.
Well, Brady tends to do this, or actually
Yeah,
tends to go the other way. Todd will roar out to a lead, and Brady will roar back. But,
Yep. That's it.
All right, so 9 to 5, working is our score.
Yeah.
Brady on top. Speaking of, we made mention of Dolly Parton earlier, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Laird Hamilton, that's his name. Laird Hamilton.
Laird Hamilton.
He was the
Yeah.
originator of the being towed into big waves. Anyway, go ahead.
So, Gary, you're saying your answer was in Canadian measurements and in meters? Yeah.
I want a liter of cola.
All right, gentlemen. McDonald's restaurants.
Ugh.
How many countries have at least one McDonald's restaurant? And these are independent countries. How many independent countries have at least one McDonald's restaurant?
Okay. Am I first?
You are first, I believe.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Brady.
What?
Go ahead.
60 to 74.
60 to 74.
I think I lowballed it, though.
I think I way overshot it. I'm talking every little spot on the planet has a McDonald's. Everything with a border. Even a few states that have
McDonald's Liechtenstein.
Yes. Point.
All right.
Can I have the lutefisk nuggets?
Audience input here. Jim says all of them. So kind of where you went, Howard.
Yep.
Jackie says 200 to 210. Gary also says all, the whole mess of them. Danny 60 to 70. And Jim 75 to 100. And that answer is the only one that's correct. 96 countries have at least one McDonald's
Yeah,
restaurant.
I cut it off
I
at
thought
80.
I thought everybody wanted a grease burger.
Well, everyone may want one, but maybe can't get one.
Don't get one, yes.
I don't
All
think
right,
there's any Afghanistan or any McDonald's in Kabul or.
Well, Afghanistan would not be considered an independent country, would it?
Sure. Has its own government.
It has the Taliban, which is not really a government.
But the country's independent.
All right, Iceland, Iran, and North Korea don't have a McDonald's, along with the majority of Africa. Are they not loving it? Apparently
Not loving
not.
it. The rest of them all had Burger King.
Right. So 0 points. So our score remains. We're working
It's horrible.
9 to
By the way,
5.
Kim Jong Il is the one who in his official biography that studied in North Korea, he claims to have invented the hamburger, and that's taught to North Koreans.
Sure he did. And I'll bet he eats McDonald's.
That
There
he
may not
does.
be a restaurant, but I'll bet he eats McDonald's. All right, Howard, you may have a advantage on this, or maybe not. I don't know. Driving stick shift. What percentage of Americans can do it? Driving stick shift. What percentage of Americans can do it?
All right.
Got it.
Got it.
All right, again, for the benefit of our audience, the question is about driving a stick shift vehicle. What percentage of Americans can do it? Howard, what you got? 38 to 42% says Howard.
18 to 28%.
18 to 28% says Brady. And looking at the audience input here, Jackie says 10 to 25. Danny says 25 to 40. Gary says 15 to 24. Jim says 25 to 45. Miss Wilson 25 to 30. And a little different in a farming community. I think a lot of farm kids get out there and drive tractors from an early age, and they get that skill early on. But again,
I learned to drive a stick in my Pinto.
oh yeah, true. All right, Brady, once again,
Blow me out of the water.
18%. 18%.
Wow.
Holy cow.
I
I said 18 to 28. I had no idea that I would actually.
You
Do I
did.
get
Wrong
both
news.
showcases?
I thought you were a little low on that, but I guess the way we paralyze the world is electronic magnetic pulse and give everybody a stick shift.
There you go.
Yeah.
As little as 2% of vehicles sold in the United States come with a stick shift. It's the opposite in Europe, where everyone learns to drive a stick shift.
Silly.
So,
Okay. Brady,
Howard, no
you're on
points on that. So we're looking at a
Brady.
score of 12
Hey, Howard.
to 5. So Brady could win on this question.
Just win on the question. There we go.
And this ties into our discussion earlier.
Oh, man.
Blue whales. Not of the concrete variety, of the actual variety. How many bones does a blue whale have? Now, interesting fun fact as you think of your range of numbers. The heart of a blue whale can weigh as much as a car.
Its tongue is huge.
So again, how many bones does a blue whale have?
Got it.
All right, Brady, you're first this time. How many bones does a blue whale have?
Oh, sorry. 200 to 240.
200 to 240 is Brady's answer. Howard?
180 to 200.
180 to 200. Audience answers rolling in here. Jackie says 180 to 220. Jim says 180 to 240.
I'm trying to do
Danny
whale
says
sounds.
200 to 300. And Gary, very specific, 324 to 326. He thinks he knows something here. Gary does.
Maybe Gary's a fisherman, and we don't know.
Is he Gorton instead of Gary?
There we go.
Could be.
We've got our model.
Now I believe Gary did think he thought he knew something, and he's the closest of anybody who gave an answer.
Woo.
And Gary does a Schultz. I know nothing. Okay. The answer, sorry to say our participants here get no points. 356 bones in the blue whale body. 356. So we have 206 in our skeleton, and it is broadly similar to a whale's, believe it or not, but they are massive and they just need more bones to keep their shape. I guess.
They still have phalange bones, even though they're encased in a fin.
Gary said he had no idea, but again, a very specific range of a guess there.
Yes.
All right, so our score continues to be Brady 12, Howard 5. Howard, time to get the comeback going.
I'm just, you and I running out of time.
All right, gentlemen. This could be easier. Very limited geography here. The Amazon River. How many countries does it run through, including its tributaries? Now, Howard has been to the Amazon.
Yes, I have. But that may not help me on this. I have to think hard.
How many countries does the Amazon River run through, including its tributaries?
I was actually supposed to be there right now.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I was supposed to go to Ecuador
Ah.
and go in the
Oh, I was-
Amazon.
I was there on a mission trip, and it was probably the most rewarding non-vacation trip I ever taken in my life.
All right. Let's see
Here's one.
who's first here.
I think it's Howard.
Howard. 5 to 7 is Howard's guess. Brady.
8 to 14.
8 to 14. Looking at our audience responses, Jackie says 5 to 8. Gary says 7 to 11. 7-11, the big gulp. Danny says 10 to 15. Jim 8 to 13. Miss Wilson 15 to 20. Howard starting the comeback. 6 countries.
Woohoo!
6. Brady, you can only do that with your hand when you're talking about Michigan.
Well, I'm seeing Brazil and Guyana, and Venezuela and Suriname, then Peru, Ecuador, and I think I gave a little bit too much credence to Bolivia and Uruguay.
All right, the river starts in Peru, travels 4,000 miles through Bolivia, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, and Brazil before emptying into the Atlantic.
Ooh.
Everybody forgets Venezuela.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought it was since the tributaries. I was thinking one might have snaked in through Argentina and Uruguay there. That's what kind of inflated my number.
All right, 12 to 8 is our score. All right, gentlemen. Weddings in the United States. Weddings in the United States.
Sorry.
What was the average cost of a wedding in the year 2019 for the ceremony and reception? Average cost of a wedding in the United States in the year 2019 for the ceremony and reception.
2014. Let's see.
Now,
Well, you
seeing
said
this answer, 2019, yeah.
Okay.
Seeing this answer makes me glad I do not have a daughter in which I would have to pay for a wedding.
2,000 to 5,000 is what I said.
Brady says 2,000 to 5,000. Howard says 5,000 to 7,000. And our audience has answers rolling in. Jackie says 15 to 20,000.
God.
Danny says 17 to 30,000.
Ah.
Jim says 25 to 35,000. Miss Wilson doing, I guess, the Vegas wedding, $1,500 to $2,500.
We can do it cheaper in Virginia Beach. I tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kim, welcome, Kim. 35 to 60,000 for Kim's wedding.
Hi,
Gary
Kim.
went with the specific range last time. Goes with the wide range this time, 3,500 to 35,000.
Woo.
And Jackie puts in there twice the price of a funeral. So you guys
I
are
argued they're synonymous.
you guys are expressing shock and awe at some of these
I was gonna
answers,
say
but
that, Brady. I was going to say
Shut-
that.
shock and awe at these answers. However, those people are much closer than you are. $28,000 is, or was, the average cost of a
See,
wedding.
Well, it says average cost. So you got to throw in Kardashian weddings, along with with
But
the.
those are
fireproof
those are
and
relatively
wear.
few, though. They're relatively few.
Yeah.
So is
Then
the
there's-
average cost? Is the average cost of a divorce 4 times that?
Jim said
When you
actually
get property
half the
losses
cost of
and
a
stuff
divorce.
I'm going to shut my mouth.
Kim says, not my wedding. Kim's daughter works in the wedding industry, so she had a little
Yeah, she
inside
does.
baseball there.
Yeah.
Gary says, average of those reported wedding planners? Question mark. Well, I'll tell you where the data came from. According to the
Uzbekistan in Dover, Delaware is much cheaper.
According to the 2019 NOT KNOT study, venue is the biggest expense and accounts for a third of the cost. So in your $28,000 wedding, the venue will account for approximately $8,500 of that, $8,700, $8,750-ish of that. Avoid Manhattan if you want to save some money and consider Columbus or St. Louis instead. And that would probably account for our answers here with the cost of a wedding. They're much cheaper here.
And
So no points.
As I said, $125 if you go to Virginia Beach.
There you go. It's not about the ceremony, it's about the vows, right?
That's it.
All right. So, gentlemen, next question on ice cream. Ice cream. What's the record for the most scoops on a cone? On a regular size cone balanced for at least 10 seconds. So again, you got to take that into account as well. What's the record for the most scoops of ice cream on a cone, a regular size cone balanced for at least 10 seconds? I gotta love these questions. These questions are great.
I think I'm going way low on this, but
Are we ready, gentlemen? All right, Howard, what do you got?
Baskin Robbins plus
Baskin Robbins plus
31
16.
to 47. Yep.
31 to 47. Brady?
I think I'm gonna be higher than Keith Richards on this one, but I'm saying 70 to 120.
70 to 120 says Brady.
He's probably close.
All right, so answers from the audience. Jackie says 6 to 20. Danny, 12 to 16. Miss Wilson, 25 to 40. Gary, 23 to 28. Jim, not enough, whatever the number is. I'm in agreement with you there. I'm an ice cream lover myself. Kim, 11 to 15. But Jim's real answer is 25 to 30. And Brady, your upper end of your range was awful close. Awful close. 125 scoops of ice cream. And I believe the balance for 10 seconds portion of that question was
That's
the
good.
key.
Yeah.
All right, this was achieved by Italian Dimitri Panisiera in 2018. He also holds the world record for largest ice cream scooper at over 6 feet long and nearly 2 feet wide.
Who can wield that? What is it? What kind of vat is he putting that in that it could even be wielded?
I don't know. Does that need a motor? Seems like it would need a motor.
I don't know, but let's tie that into my topic from earlier. The largest ice cream scoop, non-edible, is in New Paris, Pennsylvania.
Well, there you go.
Hey,
It's 9.5 feet long and about 12 feet high. It's a building shaped like ice cream.
There you go.
There we go.
Danny does come up with a good point. They were probably using gelato, which could that cause a easier balancing? Does gelato balance easier than ice cream?
it might because it's a little bit more pliable. It's less
Yeah.
firm.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
Dr. Clouseau, I got the film for you.
All right, Brady, you may have an advantage here because this question has come up in another game.
Uh-oh.
Now, Howard, you may have been listening to this
have.
episode. Okay, the question is on the boiling point of water. And what is the boiling point of water at the top of Mount Everest in degrees Fahrenheit? Boiling point of water at the top of Mount Everest in degrees Fahrenheit. Now, someone should get points here. I'm thinking. Boiling point of water at the top of Mount Everest in degrees Fahrenheit.
Am I first?
I have no clue. Go ahead, Brady.
Brady, you're first.
I believe it is 140 to 190.
140 to 190 is Brady's range. Howard?
112 to 137.
112 to 137. Audience responses. Jackie says 120 to 150. Gary, 93 to 128. Jim says 180 to 198. And we'll get some other answers as we go along here, but I will give you the actual answer. Brady gets the points. 162 degrees Fahrenheit. Danny with his range 160, 186. So Danny got his range correct. The higher the elevation, the lower the atmospheric pressure and boiling point. So, on another note, it takes forever to cook things as the water cannot get hot enough. So if you ever need to cook anything at the top of Mount Everest, probably should just take the dried
match.
fruit
You could boil
or
an
whatever.
egg.
Yeah. All right. So Brady on the verge.
The verge of
Actually,
winning.
that was winning. That put you
That was winning.
on 15. So yes,
Good
Congratulations.
game.
Victorious.
Good game.
15 to
Congratulations.
8. Yes. All right.
Absolutely.
Good game, gentlemen. Good game.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right.
Good job.
Okay, yeah, so that brings us to the end of episode 61, and we want to remind you you can find our podcast on most any audio platform you can find a podcast on, and they're listed there at the bottom of the screen if you're watching us on video. Those do come out on Friday morning at 3 a.m., so if you're up early on a Friday morning, you get that right when it hits the podcast platforms. But again, in most anywhere you can find one, you can probably find our podcast on video. If you're with us right now, you're either probably on YouTube, Twitch, or Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter, Periscope on Twitter. Yeah, that one flew out of my ear, but Periscope on Twitter. We also run our podcast on that as video as well. So, gentlemen, Howard, we thank you for guest hosting, and we may have
pleasure,
guest
my
host. May have guest host on from time to time. Even our previous guest host was the voice of our podcast intro and outro. Matt Bond was our other guest host. He was with the three of us, so we had four of us on that particular episode. So we may venture into that realm at some point in the future, or if one of us can't be here, we may bring on another guest host. May bring Howard back. You never know what's going to happen, but Howard, you certainly fell into our inanities well. So thank you very much.
You did a yeoman's job and a tremendous job, sir.
I'm no Todd Griffin, but he's no Howard McClain.
Well, that is a fact.
That
can
is a
only
fact.
aspire.
I'd like to state the facts. I can aspire.
Fact.
I can aspire.
I can only aspire to be either.
That's it.
Before we go, I would like to wish a speedy recoveries to my mom, who's
Absolutely.
recovering from a gallbladder procedure. And one of the other ladies of the house, my dog Pepper El Perro, is recovering. Let's just say she went to the vet to get tutored.
Oh,
At least
Tutored?
That's what I told her.
there you go.
But anyway,
All right.
So-
I'll give a little message myself on a serious note. We don't get very serious on this show very much, but this past week here, lost one of my students in my building lost her life in an ATV accident. I do want to keep the Strong family in your prayers. I'm going through a rough time there with the loss of Allie, so please, again, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And, just a hard situation to go through there.
Absolutely.
All right. With that, again, our audio will drop on Friday at 3 a.m., so keep in tune for episode 61. Thank you, gentlemen.
and in honor of Todd Griffin, on the count of three, we should all give his send off that he
Correct.
usually does. So ready? 1, 2, 3.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.